Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of our program. This is Mike Saunders with Marketing Huddle, and today we have with us Jeff Sonnergren with Successful Education Solutions. Welcome to the program, Jeff.
Hi there, Mike. How are you today?
Hey, doing great. And let's just get started with telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what type of business you're in and how you help parents.
Okay. So I'm Jeff Sonnergren, and what I do now, and I'll talk about some missteps, is I do college planning. And sort of this new program is going to be more of a masses product than average student rather than the very, very, top students that a college planner will typically, use and have as their clients. I am an engineer. I love this college planning. I used to do college searches for my friends in high school, and I sort of never gave that up. So as I lost interest in my engineering career, this just sort of came up. I was involved with financial planning for a little while, but immediately gravitated to this college side. It's just always been a hot button for me, and I've always gotten, tremendous satisfaction about helping, young students, do it right and doing it right the first time.
Yeah, a college planner has a window of opportunity for a typical student. So college planners might be talking to their clients about, positioning some assets financially and things like that. But now all of a sudden, when their client has a child looking to enter college in the next year or two or three, all of a sudden their retirement and financial plans kind of divert a little bit. And can you speak just a broad base about how you're able to help with helping the strategies where you don't have to derail your retirement, and where you're able to put some strategies in place to maybe help them smooth out those edges during those 4 to 6 years of college. And again, this is a program we're going to talk about today. You're launching your College Genie program that helps other college planners with their parents. But I think it's important to kind of talk about how this will help smooth out those years where the parents are worrying about diverting money out of retirement accounts.
Yeah, the first thing is don't say 6 years because, if a parent's done it in 4, maybe 5, well, what is this 6-year business? So we all start to get the idea that, this is, very, very, expensive, and hopefully, we're doing it right. We're really, focusing in on the student, sort of do what you are. What do you like? What are you really strong at, type thing. So we're not necessarily changing majors, or transferring, colleges. But ideally, for all that we've got, in a student, we always think about, we got an athletic scholarship. So in many, many ways, we're thinking about a scholarship for your brain. And again, there's different tiers of colleges. I don't necessarily like that word, but you get the idea. If I'm this B-plus student, I might be able to get into a college as a weaker student, like at an A college. I was like, that's, 1, going to be expensive, 2, going to be an awful lot of work to keep up with those, naturally stronger students, but it's certainly not going to be a place where the college is thrilled to have you. And sort of what I mean by that, the price will reflect at a private school and stronger public schools, the price will reflect how much they want to have you. Just the way that they're courting a star athlete, stars and superstars get money, the walk-ons don't. The above-average ones don't. So we really want to be well above average. So we're doing all we can to reduce that price, for the student. And we really want, to make that affordable. So as a college, let's call it college financial planner, looks at this in cash flow, in savings, that's the parents' retirement, really. They've worked, 30, 40 years to collect, and put away, for their retirement. And we don't want to really touch that money. That money is not included in the financial aid forms to sort of be a source of income to pay for college. So sort of complementing their role in cash flow, quality of life, et cetera, we don't want all of that derailed by, let's say, an overpriced or a college cost that's too expensive. So what do we do? How do we get money? How do we reduce the cost, on there? There's always need-based aid, but not everybody, is really eligible for that. But anybody can be eligible for merit-based aid. And, I'm here, in southeastern New York State, about 50 miles north of New York City, but working with students nationally, you just hear this. They want the best for their children. They don't want to compromise the quality of education. But one, this is undergraduate, and two, we don't have to pay full price. So let's really set this student up for success, meaning getting done in 4 years with nice grades, but not overpaying. We all know quality costs money, and we will get a return on investment, for that. So if we make these choices wisely and really separate that retirement and the savings that a family has from college expenses, it can be a lot easier. We don't need to overpay.
Yeah, and this program you're rolling out, College Genie, and we're going to get into some of those details momentarily, but you're positioning this initially here to help be a support to other college planners. So can you speak to, number one, the aspect that you just touched on briefly, where different tiers of schools, and also there's different tiers of students, I would suspect, where maybe A+ student might have a lot more opportunity than a B or B- student, and would the College Genie program help planners that are working with both of those tiers of students?
Okay, let me sort out all these layers. Okay, so in general, maybe who is the ideal, client? This is certainly not just for A and A+ students, and in many ways it may be more for that average student, B, maybe B- on there. They're absolutely college material. They may not be absolute wizards, like scary smart people to get into the most elite and selective schools. So we're always trying to say, here we are as an above average student, committed student, reasonably smart, type thing, find the school that's right for them, that's known for business. Because I was an engineer. MIT would be a joke for me. Maybe RIT would be a great choice, for me. I'd be able to do well. It's a solid name, in engineering. And that's the same, idea here. So you find the appropriate schools. So many of us planners on the academic side are always talking about fit. This is truly academic fit. So if you set yourself up to be a big fish in a small pond, maybe where you're smarter than 3/4 of the other students, I can handle this. I can get good grades. And maybe because we are a top student, well above average, we can get money. And that goes back to the idea, of merit scholarships. And it's absolutely a sliding scale. There's highly competitive, most competitive, less competitive, competitive. So, rather than, let's say, letter grades, that may be, a nicer way and maybe a more accurate way to describe that. I can get in. I can get good grades. Mike, please ask what portions of that question I didn't answer.
Yeah, sure. You covered that really well. And the other aspect is the fact that a college planner that's working with a family, parents and a child or two, they might realize that, the high-end schools or the best programs or the best scholarships are available only for certain types of students, and potentially your program here could help out the college planner. So my question then would be, give us a 30,000-foot view of what the College Genie is, and then how does it benefit those college planners that are working with their clients?
Okay, so the College Genie, all these things that I've been talking about are really traditionally done, one-on-one. We have a relationship, you're my client, we spend 10 hours together, different things like that. But sometimes with the more average student rather than the really strong, student, maybe the win, because we may not be able to get merit-based scholarships, is to really keep this, to being on time and, making it affordable and in still a quality program, being able to get good grades. But what if we didn't change majors? For one, and we got done, in 4 years, or the student really doesn't have, I'm a sort of a math science person, forget anything English, something along that. What jobs are out there? maybe what jobs are out there that are growing, and I don't need a doctorate for. Remember, I'm a B student. I'm not in love with school type thing. So those can be, very helpful. And then again, maybe differing, from the regular college planner, they feel because of maybe the price, of their packages, some families of average students may not maybe feel comfortable because of maybe a lack of return on a significant investment for the planner. So if we've got, a nice, B- to B+ student, this program could be very, very helpful. It's certainly more affordable. All the pieces, from a regular college planning engagement are in there, but there's a lot of overlap. So what we'll do is all that common area, that'll be done in a group classroom setting, type thing. And many times it's probably going to be a webinar type thing. But the other piece is, well, what about my specific son or daughter? There's going to be 2, sessions where it's truly, personal coaching with all your questions. So it's absolutely individualized where it must be and where you really want to have concern about your specific, student. And then the other piece is sort of general information, just to put everything in perspective. Who is that student? And, what colleges are out there that really give money, obviously that they have, the major you want and in a location, that you're interested in.
Kind of like getting your gen ed requirements out of the way and then going into your major classes. You're offering the College Genie as group coaching, which kind of gets the gen ed requirements out. And then when you get into more of the fine-tuned, personalized, you do offer some one-on-one sessions with them as well. And so from this format, how does that benefit another college planner? Because why are they going to send you a referral when they could be doing these types of things themselves? Or is this bringing an opportunity to a planner that they don't already do, and then maybe it's a revenue stream for the planner?
Okay. So there's different ways to help, different, planners. Sometimes, let's say they meet someone at church or they get a referral, mom's talking and waiting for everybody to pick up, from soccer practice. And they know what you do, and this happened to me the other night, and I held my tongue. They know you're involved, but they just know it may not be right. Oh, I hear he's really expensive, different things, along those lines. But they want to help. They've just got this, the planner that is, has it within them. I'm helping. I'm really helping the student with sort of the biggest decision of their life, and hopefully we're going to make it the most exciting decision, of their life. But the student may just not be an ideal fit, for that planner. So whether it be a cost issue where because it's group, just like I do private, swim lessons, guitar lessons, whatever, you do it in a group format. So the price is absolutely reduced, much more, affordable. So it would be a fraction of, let's say, a typical full plan, platinum plan, whatever we want to call it. And then again, because of that cost, for the return on an investment, what can we really do if I can't get merit aid, for that student? Again, maybe it's really making the college cost for your degree, less expensive. And then that's a different type of return on investment. So we're having direction. We're getting the student excited about what they're good at, what might potentially want to do for 40 years. So where your heart and where your brain are. So it's a different, type of reward. And again, maybe a little bit better suited for the average student than the well above average student. And, I keep mentioning the idea of a sliding scale. The strategies in many ways are the same for that AA plus student as really for that B student. But sometimes the access isn't there. And, and this is maybe a program that fills that void. It's the same, strategies and secrets that go into the top students, here being accessible and, again, used at a different level for the more average student.
So is it accurate to say that a college planner that works with some potential families, they might find some resistance if the family says, well, my son just wants to go to community college or as a B student, so probably there's nothing much you can do to help them. And then especially if they then found out that their higher end or premium packages are X number of dollars, so that planner may lose out on a client because of either the price or the tier level of the student, whereas this program could help that family right away, and then you could then send them right back, kind of like with almost like a certificate of completion back to the planner to say, okay, now they are prepped and ready for other strategies that you can work with the family on.
Yes, absolutely. There's certainly going to be a share, involved in this between, the counseling going on, for the student, and maybe even doing the more academic specific, put that, on my shoulders, for you and for you, the planner. And then going back, if there is ever, the potential for, let's say, the financial planning, component of this, which is sometimes called student positioning, this is their student. And they're immediately, given back, to them. So in many ways, it's a shared, student, but maybe not their ideal student. So it's being warmly referred to a trusted, advisor. Many of them, may be using me, already, for programs like this. So it can be a true help, for them. They're helping the student indirectly, but through, someone that they know, me. And again, they're getting the help that everyone really wants to see, for the student.
It's customary for planners to parse out or bring in outside experts to do specific pieces of the whole pie. So they might send you already, or they might send someone like yourself, a family to do student positioning work because maybe the planner, that's not their forte. Is that an accurate statement that in the industry as well?
Yes. I think, we all know the word, jack of all trades, master of none. But sort of, the most common model, Mike, that I see is I use the word family positioning, and then I use the word student positioning. So again, college financial planning, and then college admissions counselor. And you really want specialists in each area. I can touch and certainly discuss because I've had that background and I've had all those, let's say, licenses, to do that. But I absolutely gravitated to the student side. So essentially, with a team of planners, you go to their strengths and, high interest areas. And, a lot of times that's just not a single person. So it's just a great complementary role. They do what they love and they're really strong at, and I do the same.
Yeah, and then the main planner is kind of driving the whole process, and they might have this piece outsourced to this organization or this person, and then they might do these 3 or 4 pieces themselves, and then you might do the student positioning piece. Is it also accurate to assume that if they are going to outsource it out to someone like yourself, then they're going to pay X number of dollars for that, but then this College Genie group coaching program would reduce that down per family because now it's a group setting. So is there a win for the college planner in considering the College Genie group coaching program?
I think so, and that was, one of the main areas that I was thinking, about, because I'm sort of, like I said, I'm here about 50 miles north of New York, but for the planners that I'm doing, counseling for, let's say that specialized academic counseling, where they're doing and only doing their financial piece. So there's always the need, for that, so quality work, and done, affordably or maybe much more affordably, on that. Did I answer that question fully?
Yeah. So you're saying that a typical planner is going to focus on the financial piece, and they might not be doing the student positioning or the some of those kind of roll up your sleeves, get the dirt kind of really manual labor kind of part of the process, where that's where you come in. You already do this for many other planners, and now being able to roll out the College Genie program as a group coaching, it helps to open it up for more families to get some of this benefit. It opens it up as a way for these planners now to say, wow, I wasn't able to sell my premium package to this handful of clients or prospects last month, but when I introduced it, this College Genie coaching program to them, they snapped it right up because it was in their wheelhouse of affordability. And if that planner can earn a revenue share on that, and it sets them up to have the family come back to them for the financial piece down the road, that's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, it absolutely is, for that. Yes.
Here's a thought too. What fail-safes are in place for the planner that is considering this to know that you're not going to write financial business for that family that they send over to you?
Everything I've had is gone, meaning I've let lapse or surrendered all, Series 7 exams, insurance licensures. I'm not licensed for any product in any state anywhere, so I cannot do that.
That's to me, that would be something that would be comforting as a planner to refer to another person like yourself to know that even if you wanted to, then you couldn't. But the trust level there of working with planners across the country already is already in place. You're already doing this, and it really does set that family up to come back to the main planner and then get that financial positioning piece done. And I'm sure there's many variety of things that they would do once kind of the family has that clear sense. And I would suspect that a family might not know what they don't even know about the process, but the only thing they're seeing is some larger priced package, and they just say no. So if they could come through your program, and it's easy for them because it's group and it's some webinars and phone calls, a couple one-on-ones, it would help that planner to pre-position that family to come back to them after your program. So can you speak some specifics about how long the program is, what it looks like? Is it webinar based with homework? Is it what's the family going to experience?
Well, the main two components, of this are really, something I'll call, just that student positioning, the terms that come up. So who exactly is this student? What are they strong at, in their courses? What are they really, interested in? And then sort of what, careers, may be a nice match for them. There's jobs there, so certainly there's a career planning component, to this. Let's say everyone knows STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Supposedly that's where all, the jobs are. We know biomedical engineering is going like crazy, some of the most rapid growing field, out there. But automotive engineering is really, on the decline. So making sense of that can absolutely, be there. So that's let's say the career piece, and let's say using several tools, for self-assessments, personality, and academic, assessments on there. They're sometimes called interest inventories to develop, let's say a career choice. And then sort of from there, it's like, well, what do I study to be prepared for a career in X, or to, be ready for graduate school, in that area. So that's one main area. But then also, looking at the idea of, business, that's everywhere. Math, that's everywhere. Education, that's everywhere. Identifying the better schools. So it's this whole idea of, list optimization, because, anybody can go to, a good college search engine, college navigator, college board, on and on. There's a dozen of them type thing. But, let's be smart, about that. Let's, find the schools that are quality, for the level of student, that we've got. And, sort of another way, going back, to the planner, at the end, we know this is about affordability. So any financial discussion will almost have to come back to them just to see, what will work, what is affordable, what's a tolerable amount of debt, maybe additional debt for the parents, sometimes in the form of a plus loan. But even, the student, having, their own debt, how much, is too much, type thing, because too many students are, unfortunately, I won't say bragging, but they've got $150,000 in debt at the undergraduate level. And it's great. I have an engineering degree. My wife has an MBA. Our jobs paid for those advanced degrees. So sometimes your debt is just beginning. So the affordability piece is definitely, in that as well. So the need for college list optimization, not just academic fit, but financial fit. So we all know about safety schools. Oh, I'm bound to get in here, but is it really a financial safety? And that doesn't mean always a public school. That doesn't always mean, go to community college for 2 years and then go on to a 4-year school. All options are on the table. So let's find, what works for the student and then just obviously make it affordable and not overpay. So those are the two huge components, of the college genie. And so much of that information is common, but then going back to, those two individualized, sessions. So any of your questions, and concerns or specific details beyond, let's say, the boilerplate information that really needs to be put in there, that can be brought in too. So it will be customized at the very end.
And that's important because you don't want to feel like the referral over to you and your program is just an email to the parent with, here's a whole zip file of documents to go through, and here's your one phone call where we'll have a brief conversation. Can you speak to the flow of how the group coaching program works? How often are the calls, and what all will the parents experience?
Okay. So how, it's all been arranged is probably 4 meetings, 1 like a general overview, 2 getting the idea of, what's important, but then 3 getting into the student. So I think for meeting 3, there will be 2 versions for sort of 2 very common areas. Who knows? It could be education, it could be nursing, and it could be more of a male expected, occupation versus, let's say, a female expected occupation. And obviously there's some that are sort of 50-50, as well. So there's probably going to be, there will be 2 versions of that 3rd meeting. And then the 4th meeting will all come back to, wrap it all up and make sense of all the individual, pieces, in that process. There will be homework, provided with, the program. There's going to be some of those self-assessment tools. And if we need to dig deeper, meaning it's not quite specific enough, there's additional tools. So just like you go to your general practitioner, we make a good analysis, but sometimes we need to go to a specialist to get, further testing. So there's always the ability, to include that, or that's going to be included, in the program. And then there's also, access to some nice proprietary software that really helps evaluate, is this a good academic and financial fit? Because in the end, what are we looking for? Who cares about, if I've got 200 schools that have X, we need to be able to get in and we need to be able to comfortably, afford it.
So, to me, it sounds like this program is an opportunity for college planners that focus on specific financial aspects and may need the services of someone like yourself to do the student positioning, college list optimization, self-assessments, all of those things that possibly the main planner just isn't in the wheelhouse, or they normally would bring someone else in anyway. But this new group coaching aspect is able to help the price point come down, where now that planner might have lost a client because their main packages are higher than what the family wants to pay, because maybe price is an issue, maybe the student is a B student, maybe they want to go to a community college, and just the main planner's premium packages are not a fit for the family. But now this is a way for the planner to bring you in the loop, maybe monetize that referral because there's a revenue share aspect, but mainly just to kind of keep that family on the warm burner and have them learn these things from your group coaching program. And then when they come back to the planner, they're much more well educated and they're now ready to take that next step. So if that is something that planners would like to learn more about, what would the next step be? How could they learn more and connect up with you?
Well, I'm going to sort of make a presentation, sort of the way we're doing the interview now, but I'm just finalizing that presentation sort of almost like a pre-homework assignment, but almost, again, like a pre-conversation assignment. So they think about, what they do, what they enjoy, where, who's their ideal client, type thing. And then sort of the complement that to be, well, maybe this isn't, my ideal client. Maybe this is, way too heavy on the academic side, that's not for me. So there's sort of, be an informational, video, prepared. And then, let's talk. I'd love to hear, where maybe you're missing clients, and again, but where you want to help them. So maybe the less ideal client, for that planner. So there's, a phone number, obviously. There's, a website, and then also this, this video specific to the College Genie, program, dealing, specifically, from the college planners, perspective as they, consider, working with us.
Super. So for college planners wanting to learn more, what is the best phone number and website to use to reach you?
Okay. So phone number here in New York is area code 845-200-7488. And then my website is simply successfuleducationsolutions.com.
Sounds good. Well, Jeff, thank you for explaining your College Genie program to us. We really appreciate that today.
Oh, you're very welcome. This is fun.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.